No, that's not what I want. Cool. Is the stream on? Okay, it is. Good. I am not expecting too many people to show up. It is a last minute and late night stream, but I don't know. I just wanted to turn on the stream and hang out, see if anyone shows up. Hope everyone's doing well. Also switched up the music too. I feel like these late night streams, I want to play more like lo-fi stuff. Man, my headphones messed up. But hope everyone's doing well. I gotta switch out that Mando picture and do something else. So, but that's fine. Go here really quick. Let's see. I always rely on D to show up. What's up, D? Vibes! I knew only the Hawaiian people would show up because it's, what, 6, 7 p.m. over there? Maybe a little bit earlier. So, I don't know. I just felt like, I'm like, dude, I haven't streamed in forever. I've been kind of caught up with other things. Honestly, mostly kind of work, but also just like kind of crypto related. I kind of got really caught up with some crypto stuff that really interested me, so that kind of occupied a lot of my time for the last like week. So that's part of the reason why I haven't been on here too much. But we vibing. Okay, so it is 6 o'clock your time. That's good. But D, how are you doing? Honestly, you and Hinano have been doing great with the content. Like, I can hardly keep up. I don't know how people keep up with like all the PV content creators, like between like Discord and X and YouTube and all that stuff. I do watch your guys' stuff, and I know you guys invited me recently to jump on the show and do something, so maybe we could do that next week. Like I said, I was kind of preoccupied this week with other stuff, but well, cool. What crypto are you looking at, if you don't mind me asking? It's not just like crypto in general. I was honestly kind of looking into kind of like meme coin trading a little bit, and I actually made it like an okay amount. And it's one of those things that can kind of like go up and down. And it was always something I was always like curious about, but like this last weekend, I just like really like looked into it, looked up on YouTube, like looked in like different communities and stuff. And it's obviously it's risky, but it's pretty cool. And I'm not risking a lot by any means. I'm only using, you know, a couple $100 or something like that, and just kind of playing around with that and just see how it plays out. It's been working out for me so far. So I don't know, anytime I find something and something I need to work on, anytime I find something like interesting, or have like an idea, and once I get into it and I start really like researching and all that stuff, it just completely absorbs all of my time for a while, let's say that. And I tend to kind of put other stuff like on the back burner. And all that, which is funny because even just a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, I really want to crank up like PV content and making pictures and videos and all that stuff. And I do want to do that. There's actually a, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to pull it up over here. My plan is actually to, in about a week and a half, not this weekend, but the weekend after this, in Phoenix, there's actually something called Phoenix Fan Fusion, and all these actors and stuff are going to be there, which is really cool. Like I already know most of these actors and actresses and voice actors and all that kind of stuff, so they're all going to be there. It's like it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm just gonna go on one of the days, try and see if I can get some either like Veve people to go or some other friends. All the Hobbit actors and stuff are gonna be there too. So all these actors are gonna be there on some of these days, and so I think it'd be cool to go there. Obviously, these people are into these like shows and sci-fi, and they're really nerdy. So part of me was like, man, I need to print out, or I need to get on a website. I want to make my QR code like a sticker, but I do want to customize the sticker to, you know, have it say like VV, show some of the digital collectibles on there. Also mention that like you can buy it with like credit card or crypto, like basically have all the information like in a very bite-sized format, either on like a business card almost seems like too formal, but either like a sticker or something like that. I'm not sure, but I do want to get it, you know, kind of done before I go. And it's pretty cool. I guess they have an exhibit hall. They have all kinds of events and things that they do. And I guess kids under the age of 12 go for free. So that's pretty legit. So if you have like kids and stuff, like they all just like go for free. And yeah, I think it's depending on which day you go, it's probably, let's actually just look at the prices. I think it's like $44 for the day, which is like not bad at all. But I think that's for Friday. I think Saturday. Yeah, for Friday only, it's $44. If you go for Saturday only, it's $64. Obviously, the kids can be more busy, and then Sunday's $44. I think Saturday is the most expensive because I think that is the day that I think obviously a lot of people are going to show up, but also that's also the day like the most actors and actresses are going to be there and stuff like that for like signatures and pictures and stuff. So it looks like a lot of fun. This weekend, explore over 600 vendors, lower level exhibit hall, third floor gaming hall, join interactive workshops and engaging fan-led panels. Yeah, that's cool. Live wrestling matches. Enjoy video game free play and tournaments and arcade oasis. Okay, that's cool. And also it's like children 3 to 12 go for free, which is awesome. I don't know if I want the VIP pass or anything like that, but no, I'm excited. So that's not this weekend, it's the weekend after. And so before that happens, I do want to do something Veve related. I'm going to bring my phone and I'll hopefully do some stuff with that. I'm just going to kind of just go up to people and just ask them like, hey, who's your favorite superhero or whoever? Oh, it's Spider-Man. Just take an AR picture with them with Spider-Man, give them a sticker, you know, tell them about Veve and all that kind of stuff and collecting. There's a big handful of people in Arizona from the, oh yeah, I'm in a group chat with them. And I thought they mentioned this like a month or two ago, maybe like a month ago, like during like Tina's birthday or something like that. So I'm gonna have to bring it up to the group again. Oh wow, the full event pass. Get access to all 3 days of the fan. Okay, so $99 for the whole weekend. I'm gonna have to check with my friends in the group because I do think one of my friends that's not even like into Veve, but he's just into like nerdy stuff and all that stuff. Might be a Saturday thing. At that point, like if I'm gonna go Saturday, I might as well maybe buy the pass. I'm not sure, but we'll see. 10, get involved, communities. Yeah, there's like wrestling, anime, sci-fi, comics, family fun. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it seems like it's right up my alley. And I think it's like an excellent way to obviously spread the word about Veve, but also just kind of connect with people and talk about nerdy stuff. Same price as 3-day con. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I... Oh, a decon. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I still need to buy my... Are those on sale yet? November 14th through 16th. Okay, they're not on sale yet. It says coming soon. But yeah, I do remember... I didn't go to decon last year, but the year before when I went, or actually, I think even the year before that, because I didn't... Yeah, I went 2021. Wow, that's been so long. I think it was $100 for the weekend. So no, not yet. They like to wait till a month or two before. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And I'm trying to convince more people in the community to like obviously go to the one in Vegas and stuff. That'll be a lot of fun. I do have a little bit of family in Vegas, so it'll definitely make it easier for me to like stay the night there and all that stuff too. 2022, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because 2021 is when I started on Veve, and then it was the following year, decon. So 2022, you're right. Yeah, I remember I met Hinano at the bar, both of you at Dave and Buster's, and at the time, I don't think you guys were you guys making content then, or maybe you guys were just starting? But I didn't know what he looked like. I mean, you know, when you're streaming and people are talking, you don't know what people look like unless they post a picture of themselves on X or, you know, Twitter back then or whatever. So it is kind of interesting when people kind of approach you and, you know, they think like you know what they look like and stuff. But it's always been fun. I do want to start meeting with like the Veve fam and stuff again. Met him a little bit at Tina's party, but you know, that was kind of a big thing. No, we didn't start a channel. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember. Because I felt like if you guys did, I would have remembered what Hinano looks like, and I would have, you know, approached him or something like that. But yeah, I had no idea, and that's cool. So what do you think about this rooftop watch skyline base? I think it's really interesting that Veve went with a blind box format, and there's also 3 different versions of the kind of the same thing. Like at first I was kind of like, oh, come on, 20 gems, but at the same time, it is the very first Veve diorama drop. Probably would have preferred if it was like 10 gems and just increase the mints. I think more people probably would have bought it, but at 20 gems, I think it's fair enough, especially since there's always the chance you can get the secret rare, right? How many mints does this have? So 222, so that's like 777, right? Yeah, get back. And then this one has, okay, so it's about 1800 mints total. That's actually not a ton. It's a little on like, because I'm trying to think, like if that was like a collectible on Veve, depending on the collectible, it might be like a little bit on the higher side, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it could sell out just because it's like the very first. Some people really like these like very first Veve, right? Like the first like poster, the first diorama, the first craftable thing. There are some things that are kind of exclusive to like the Veve IP and like the app and like the first ofs, and this is definitely one of them. I mean, they even said it in the thing. I think it's like their first. It's like their first diorama ever. Maybe it's in the article. Let me see if I can find the article. Maybe blog, I should say. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was Corey or My Collectibles, like in the live stream. They're the ones that just kind of mentioned, like, hey, like this is our first like ever Veve diorama thing. They don't really like spell it out in the article, like this is their first one, but it is. So. Looks like the Warner Brothers water tower. I agree. Yeah, I agree. It does look like the Warner Brothers like water tower. Not what I would picture for a Veve rooftop. Yeah. I did ask them on the stream kind of like what their if you haven't seen it yet, I would definitely actually I'm gonna skip this song, it's a little loud. I did ask them like, hey, like what was your guys like not influence, but kind of like, what is this in reference to? Or kind of like, what's the inspiration? That's the word. Inspiration for this. And they just kind of said like, well, we wanted to make it kind of like a generic Brooklyn, you know, street level type of like rooftop kind of thing. You know, and it's true. Yeah. This would go well with, you know, Spider-Man or Daredevil or whatever it is, you know, kind of throw it in your showroom, things like that. The only thing I'm not it is a little weird. I just noticed from like this angle how there's like 3 stairwells all on the same side, but actually that's a stairwell up. But I'll probably go for it just for the fact that it's like the very first Veve diorama, right? And the logos on the water tower are pretty cool. It is pretty cool that once we have the diorama, you can always have that like logo in the background on the water tower, angle the camera a certain way, like in the Veveverse, to have it always be showing. So. I got the Luke Skywalker set. Nice. Like, did you just secure that today? D'Angelo, what's up? I bought the SR Luke for $490, and I got the UR Miles Morales. Nice, dude. Is this your first time back on Veve in a while, or have you just been kind of keeping, or have you been on Veve and like paying attention, but you just been kind of like keeping an eye on the SR Luke and Miles Morales? I do need to circle back around and grab some of those. I have been pretty aggressively selling a few things. I also bought a few things too to like mess with an AR, and also for some B-roll and stuff like that. Because some of these, like, I don't know if you guys knew, but these bread cat, like, inflatable things, they're animated, which is pretty cool. I was gonna, it's summertime, right? You kind of throw this next to the pool or wherever. I think it's pretty cool. So I still need to do a little video of this in AR, just as like B-roll or stuff like that. I also did want to make a video talking about, if you are like a new user on Veve and you make use of those 10 gems. They can always play a drop, right? But in my opinion, I think you're better off going in the store. Buying something like Finn would make, even though it's not like a big IP, for like $1.50, it's like, okay, you get a cool little animated inflatable guy. The DeLorean actually drives. Even the small one drives in AR. So it's like for 3 gems, you can get a little digital like RC car, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw on X, but I made like a little just video of Corey. And it's actually, the animation's really cool. It like shoots, I think it shoots coffee beans and he does like 3 shots with his hand. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna pull it over here really quick. Yeah, there's my, oh, there it is. I'll full on the screen this. Like it's pretty cool. And even the animation when the hand is like shooting the coffee bean, there's kind of like a small explosion right there you can see at the end. Yeah, I was just going on a walk in the morning and it started getting warm. That's why I'm hanging out in the shade. So that's the only thing I hate about, it's only going to get hotter in Arizona, is that anytime I use AR, sometimes it takes a few minutes. You have to like stop and stand there. You're like scanning the ground. Sometimes you have to like restart the AR and all that stuff. And like the sun is just beating on me the whole time. So more often than not, I have to stand in the shade when I do anything like AR related. So I'm not getting toasted. Thing. Oh, yeah, I made this too. Maybe we'll cover that later once more people got on here, but article. All right, let me close that fan thingy. We're not really looking at that anymore. Mark D. Vibes indeed. Angel, what's up? What's up, Mark? Going to get the Peter Parker SR Spider-Man soon. Yeah, that's a good call. Stuff is, I imagine it's pretty darn close to an all-time low. Do you have any? Whoa, it's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Sorry. Do you have any Omi, D'Angelo? Because I thought someone was listing the Spider-Man SR for below retail, for below floor price. Yeah, this is going for $21.28 on Stacker. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I know it was like a super last minute stream, but I'm like, man, I haven't been on stream in a while. And really, I just want to kind of kick it with you guys. Look at some stuff. Collectibles. All right, let's look at the SR Spider-Man. What's the floor on this? Did I click the wrong one? Yeah, that's the common. I was scrolling up. I'm like, there's no way the SR's, double digits. There we go. We got to go further down. Gosh, I really wish it would say the floor price here. Instead of like clicking into the market, like, dude, I would, if it just showed you the first like 3 listings, just like the name and name, you don't even need the name. Really, you just need the mint number and the gem price. Like, I don't care who owns the collectible. We're kind of past the days of people having like bot accounts and dirty gems, and people are like, I'm not going to buy from bots and people with dirty gems. I don't know if you guys remember that back in the day, but there he is. SR Spidey. Yeah, so just letting you know, so floor price on Spidey is $2,800, but on Stacker, they're only asking for $2,100. So I don't know if you have Omi or if you have ways to like buy Omi and then jump into this and just buy it that way. But I think it's a good way to save, $600-700 potentially. That Mark D'Angelo, yep. Veve dioramas remind me of the Daredevil series. Yeah, it really does. I mean, they really nailed that, like, New York, Brooklyn, like, whatever vibe they have for, like, the water tower. And that was the aesthetic they were going for. I mean, Corey even mentioned it, like, in the thing when I asked. So, yeah, and it works perfectly with, like, any of the, like, kind of street level superheroes and villains, right? Like Moon Knight. Yeah, well, the movies not so much, but, like, I think more in the comics, he's kind of more of, like, a street level guy, like Blade, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher. Like those all those would kind of go well with that the diorama thing. I feel like such a fraud. Luke Skywalker fanboy not having the SR. Yeah, not so much a fraud. It's just, you know, I mean, that was a, you know, not financial advice, but we all know all these collectibles are down 90+%, right? So, you know, better now than, you know, buying it 2-3 years ago. Safari hat and sunblock, that is true. I usually just wear just a normal, like, baseball cap, sunglasses, and I do put sunscreen on my arms and shoulders and neck and a little on my face and stuff, but it's just still just so hot through everything. But I do need to get one of those, like, wicker straw hats or whatever it is, like you said, so that could help. Yes, I have Omi, so yeah, I don't. Yeah, just letting you know, it's cheaper on Stacker technically, and that's a big undercut too. I don't know if you can. Let me actually zoom in a bit more. Like, the next highest one is 3,500, and then this one is 2,128, and that's a full 700 gems. And I think, let me just see really quick. I'm not logged in on Stacker. All right, let me do this. Wait, what do I need to authenticate? I'm logged in. Let me just check over here. What do I need to do? Okay, I guess my thing timed out. Let me just log in again really quick. All right. What? Did I type it in wrong? Whoops. No, that's the right one. All right, let's try it again. Oh, there's a new one. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. I know what it was. Also, I changed for some reason, my account had me as female, like, on Veve, so I switched it to male, and then I got, like, a security code randomly, like, a couple hours ago, and I'm like, what is going on? But I think we're good to go now. Let me catch up with chat. What's up, Tucson? Tarantula FA soon. We're talking about the spider, or is that like a person or a villain or something like that? The new Falcon Captain America looks pretty incredible. I don't know if I'll go for it. 20 gems is reasonable. I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most blind boxes back in the day, or even now, I mean, they're usually, what, 40, 50 gems. So 20 gems isn't terrible. My only thing is that it's not really FA, but the quality is very high. It is someone said it's like the first appearance of, like, the MCU version, but I thought we already have that even in Mighty's, right? Let's type in Falcon here. Is any Omi burned buying off Stacker? I believe so, yeah. It should burn the Omi if you use it to buy any collectibles on Stacker. Let me actually go back to this really quick. Insufficient balance. And it tells you the difference. Yeah. That's the other thing, too, I like about Stacker. It'll tell you the difference between, like, the Veve floor price. I kind of wish it would. What about one of the cheap? I know there's a fee, but it should still be less. Probably the same, actually. I'm just going to pretend to buy one of these. Okay, there is a 2% fee. You'd still be saving some dough if you bought it off Stacker versus whatever. So there is a 2%, you know, I guess they call it a success fee or whatever. Because normally when you buy on Veve, there's no fee, right? If you're the buyer. But I mean, 600 gems off. I mean, that's essentially it's a pretty hefty discount. Falcon, maybe not. It's like a different version of him. Sam Wilson. Yeah, I don't know. I thought we had the version of him with the wings. Let's do Captain really quick. There he is. Yeah, Sam Wilson action. Okay, probably because he's under Sam Wilson and not Falcon. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We already have the like MCU version. It's just like in a Marvel Mighty format. I mean, don't get me wrong. The quality on Falcon's like incredible. It's just kind of gotten to the point now where like I already kind of know my strategy on Veve, what I'm going for. If I did want one of these, I'll just kind of wait in the secondary and pick up, you know, one of these cheaper ones for much less, or like one of the lower rarity ones. No, Mark, you're right. I believe the buyer pays an extra 2% on Stacker, and that's what gets burned. I can't say that with certainty. I would assume so. Yeah, the 2% is what gets burned. Superman villain Tarantula. That's what I figured. Let me look it up. Who's that? Is this the... Alright, so this is Tarantula. It's kind of a cool villain. I feel like I've seen him before. He seems very familiar. I didn't really need like comic books growing up, but I did watch a lot of like you know, superhero cartoons like Spider-Man, X-Men, Superman, all those. Batman, of course, like Batman Beyond, like the original Batman, like cartoons and stuff like that too. But I also saw a lot of these like superheroes and stuff with like old cards. I don't know if there was cards back in like the 80s or 90s, but I remember my cousin would like have them randomly and he would like give them to us, like me and my brothers and stuff. And I do remember seeing him like on a card. Is there like a card of him? Yeah, I think it was this one. This one or this one? It was this one. Like, I kind of just vaguely remember certain characters and stuff. I'm like, God, that guy looks cool but goofy. Like, I don't know. He kind of just looks like a... Dude, I miss some of these cards. Old X-Men cards. I'll do this. Do any of you guys remember some of these? Oh, this is it right here. This is it right here. I remember these cards. I had the Gambit and the Cyclops. Gene, I don't think I had some of these other ones. I only collected the ones I knew who they were. Like if I was looking through a stack of them and I found, who's that, Megan? I don't know. I was not going to collect them. Fun under the sun. What's going on? Thanks for hanging out. I figured all the West Coast people and beyond would be more than awake right now. It's past midnight or almost midnight for East Coast. Trench will be in the new Spidey flick. Okay. I don't know his backstory, but hopefully they make it interesting. Yeah, those Falcons and Captains do most definitely look wonderful. Yeah, the quality is insanely high, and the Veve's getting much better. Accidentally like full screen my chat on the other screen. And I do think the old collectibles, like Season 1, I mean, all the previous collectibles, right, that do look a little, unpolished and things like that. I do think that's what gives a lot of even physical collectibles like their charm, right? Stuff that's misprinted or doesn't look the best or whatever it is, or people are still going to enjoy those. So, I mean, I think going forward, we're still going to have kind of like a mixed bag depending on like the IP and, approvals and all that kind of stuff on like the quality. But going forward, I mean, Marvel so far has been like all the Marvel IP stuff has been kind of hitting it out of the park. How did everyone do in the VV challenge? Did you participate? Rank at the end of it? Thoughts? I didn't participate. I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of effort took on like posts and all that kind of stuff to like constantly keep up with it personally. And to be honest, like once I heard they said like, well, if you do tie, it's going to go based off of, MCP rankings or whatever it is. And I probably still maybe could have placed like somewhere between like 200 and 300 or something like that. Maybe I would have made like the very bottom of that like 250 list if I like really went after it. But I don't know. I kind of want to just look at the market and not do a bunch of like busy work posting stuff. But I really should though. I should be more active in the social. Part of it too is like I'm mostly on the computer. I mean, I am on my phone sometimes when I'm doing AR, skimming the market. But the fact that I can't use the VV feed like at all on the computer kind of sucks. I kind of wish we still had the VV feed on the PC so I can look at it occasionally. Plus, it is kind of cool to see what people are saying and AR photos and all that kind of stuff. I would like love to comment and interact with people, but it's not on the computer. Yeah, those cards too. Yeah, those are some sick cards. I think there was I don't know if I had one that was like holographic or something, or a few, or not holographic, but I had that weird. I don't know if you got like kind of maybe it is holographic. There was definitely one of Gambit I had, and it was like throwing a card a certain way. Came in 331, had fun seeing more activity on the feed. I wasn't enjoying posting, but I wasn't doing the whole listing, unlisting, friend begging thing. Yeah, that's the part I was like, I know if I just posted, people would have followed me, or I'd do like follow for follow, but yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of like trying to get people more active like on the app and stuff, but I don't, maybe it's just because of me. I played video games for so long, and the idea of like dailies and things like that, I'm just like, oh, dude, like I played enough like MMOs and World of Warcraft and gosh, I'm trying to remember all the other ones. I did play a little bit of Black Desert Online. I did play gosh, there was another one. I mean, I played like 3 or 4 of them, and a lot of them had like dailies and things like that. I'm just like, ugh, but. Wolverine versus Hulk card was fire. You make me want to look it up. Let me see. Was this it? All right, let's go here really quick. Which card are we? There's a lot of Wolverine versus Hulk. I mean, that's a pretty typical matchup. Oh, there's like a graded one here. That's kind of cool. A little fuzzy. It's not really. Oof, this one is. Gosh, the perspective and everything is like so thrown off of this like Hulk's head and everything. Famous battles, yeah. Classic. Some of these artists do a great job of just like making Hulk just feel huge. Like this one is like mouth is huge, his fists, everything. I give Dr. Rolex a ton of credit. He sure. Yeah, dude, he's a huge VE super fan. And it's not just one of those things where he's just like a whale that just like shows up in, you know, the market and just buys stuff. It's like, dude, he's putting in the time to do it for sure. That's hardcore to stick with every day. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, big respect for him. All right, let's close these. Is this a new listing? 2,800. When did this release? It's like a different giant size X-Men. One comic I am keeping a close eye on. I don't think it'll get burned for another month. Not month, but not for another like 2 weeks. Is this X-Men #5? I mean, people are. I mean, it's essentially at 2 gems. I mean, people are putting these pretty low, and I think there's only been like 1,700 of these minted so far. I would have to like do the math really quick. It's about 3,150. Okay, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, people are minting these, so it's gotten down to where there's only probably about 3,300 left, if I had to guess. So, yeah, about 1,700 of these actually have been minted. There's only 5,000 total. The scarcest one by far, and I'm a firm believer eventually people are going to want these X-Men runs like 1 through 10, Fantastic Four, all those ones. Yeah, it's this Uncanny X-Men #10. There's some people upset about there's some upset people about the way Veve handled the leaderboard. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, the fact there's only like the top 250 people and all that stuff, and it was going to be ordered by MCP level essentially, right? There was always going to be people unsatisfied with that. Wow, dude, there are no ultra rares on the market. This is a scarce comic because I think there's only been like 1,000 of these minted. I don't even own one of these. I've been kind of waiting for the common to go down in price for a little bit, but it's been at 5 gems for like weeks. Burn editions 1,500. Yeah, there's 1,500 of these. So again, if people want the 1 through 10 run of X-Men, so far the bottleneck is this, right? There's only going to be technically, 1,500 people or whatever that are going to own the 1 through 10 run. Jimboli Lingo. Hello, Master Vibes. Yeah, I need to... Thanks for showing up. I do have your logo here. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it in my new setup. Thanks for this. Dude, I still have this. We were talking about Decon. Me and D were talking about Decon 2022 all that time ago. This is still my favorite gift that I've received. Who cares who is upset? No one. Yeah, I knew people were going to be upset. I mean, even though they knew the rules ahead of time, my whole thing was like, all right, I'm going to put in all this effort and do follow for follows and all that kind of stuff. But, then, I was just going to get kind of pushed out anyway. But, I mean, I like the idea and everything. I just don't know if they need to like expand the amount of people that win or change the rules or whatever they need to do. But I mean, it's a good first effort. I like the idea of like challenges and all that. But D, where did you place on that? Yeah, it was inevitable. There was no doubt it would be laden with controversy. Yeah. Anytime Veve's going to try something new like that and there's rewards tied to it and all kinds of stuff, it's going to be tough. There's space about it right now or people's thoughts. Always got to have some spice. Yeah. I mean, no one was going to be, there was no way that the entire community was going to be satisfied with the result, right? There was always going to be at least a handful of people upset about it. Like, what's the space? Is it the space with like 40 people in it or so? With Mahalo speaking? I do need to join spaces more. Nice. Yeah. It's been too many days since you've streamed. We all miss you. What's up, Adam? I know, it's been about a week. I've been a little caught up doing other stuff. There is, and I was gonna, I was just gonna mention this. I do have some friends out there that might want to join me. This is not this weekend, but next weekend. Phoenix Fan Fusion. It's not this weekend, but next weekend, and all these actors are gonna be there. From these like shows and movies and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a good way to hang out with friends, but also more importantly, kind of just like, talk to random people about comics and Veve and all kinds of stuff. Good way to make connections and all that. Yeah, all these actors are going to be there. Kids 12 and under are free. I think it's $44 for Friday and then like 64 for the other days. So yeah, thanks, Jimbo. I still have the little like laminated like slip that comes with this, and I think, and it's about like your business or something like that. I still held on to that. So, dude, I'm not even top 500. Did a few things for a couple days, and then meh. I know I didn't even stand a chance and didn't really matter to me. Yeah, I like the idea of the challenge, but the fact there's only 250 winners, and you have to put in a lot of effort. And I knew for a fact there was going to be way more than 250 people, or maybe not more than 250, but I knew there's going to be at least like 200 people that were going to do it every single day and max out the points. Was there like a point breakdown of like the top 250 people or anything? Or was that like a Veve post? Let me see. Where's the Veve post? Show more. So it doesn't. So it only shows the top 3. Okay. Is there a post or somewhere I can look, or is it just Veve basically just told you through the app whether you place in the top 150 or 250? I'm gonna close this. I came in 231. Happy for the top 10. Rolex is a legend. Yeah, dude, he is the by far the biggest diehard, and obviously the biggest supporter for follow for follow. Yeah, Rolex is awesome. Fun, yeah, he's undefeated for sure, but congrats to him. He's like, yeah, I mean, he's it's nice to see. He doesn't just throw money at the app, but it's like he also puts time, effort, energy. He really cares about the community, and that's why he's a rock star. Did any of you guys watch the like Veve kind of community breakdown that like Corey and My Collectibles did today? It was around like noon, at least like Pacific time. It was interesting, some of the stuff they covered. I've been kind of mentioning, I'm like, dude, I'm surprised like Veve doesn't celebrate like new seasons and stuff like that all the time. I would say about 90% of the time I have no idea what season we're in, right? I kind of wish they did it more like Fortnite, where there's kind of like a big celebration of like the new season, like the old season's ending and the new season is like starting. Mark said, yeah, I watched Corey and Aaron today. Yeah. Kid Arcade, yo. What's up, Kid Arcade? Dude, I need to visit you in Vegas sometime. Like in the, not like super near future, but in the somewhat near future. I'd love to hang out with you and collab. And I got a little bit of family up there too, so could definitely kick it sometime. Remember last time I visited, you kind of let me crash in one of your rooms for like a day or two. So I've always appreciated that. Like no, like we talked online a little bit, but when I showed up, you were just like, yeah, you can kick it here, whatever. We'll hang out. Yeah, that time was a lot of fun. I do want to come by and hang out again. Vibes, which events are you going to this year? I'm just going to be going to the Decon in Vegas in November. I think it's like November 12th or 14th or something like that. So you getting a tattoo next time, Vibes? No. I mean, maybe something will change between now and then, but unlikely. No, I'm not going to get a tattoo. If I do, it's going to be that pixelated skull thing that Kid Arcade has, and then I'm going to have forever utility for all of his groups and all that stuff. If you get Kid Arcade's tattoo, God, what's the name of that character, Kid Arcade? I know you had a name for him. But skull on your, oh come on, a skull on my head? No, I'm not gonna Ghost Rider my head and just turn it all skull. Or what's that other guy from DC? He was in Suicide Squad. He kind of like a skull tattoo, and he's like lighting stuff on fire. I don't know if it was like Inferno or something like that. I forgot his name, but book it. Yeah. Wonder what Dan C is gonna speak about at Lisbon. Oh, but did they have like an announcement there or something, like a new IP? But yeah, I mentioned the whole Corey thing. Actually, let me see. Get a teardrop? No. Oh, he's a speaker at the event. Okay. Is there? So what's the event in Lisbon? I thought it was a Veve thing, or is there actually like a different event going on and Veve just happens to be there? Or is it actually like a Veve meetup in Lisbon? Tuesday. Don't you have to earn that? Yeah, no thanks. Not trying to get put on some watch list or get arrested. No thanks. Man, the Star Wars stuff this month too was really good. I'm kind of surprised they kind of, I don't really remember years before, but it does seem like they kind of crammed it all in those first 2 weeks. Because I think this was the last of it, right? These like pod racers. Let's go to collectibles and recent drops. Yeah, May 19th. So basically like the first almost 3 weeks of the month, they kind of crammed in all the Star Wars stuff. And then after that, they kind of stopped doing it. I mean, it would be cool if we did get some sort of airdrop or surprise drop at the end of the month, but I'm not expecting that to happen. Oh, it's an NFT summit. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Who's going to prove what? Exactly. Mando comic. Are these still... Yeah, there's still a bunch of these in the store. Prize 10 gems. I bought a bunch of the commons, like a gem and a half or whatever, or less than like a gem and a half. A lot of the commons and a couple of these also for a gem. I think I landed a rare on the drop. Yeah, there's not too many of these. 7,500. How many are left? Oh, like 2,900, something like that, almost 3,000. So maybe a little less. When they ask about, when they ask questions about the teardrop, it's time to earn the second one. Exactly. how'd you get that teardrop? Well, the last guy asked me too many questions, so. Midnight Chupacabra. Haven't seen that in a while. I haven't looked at any of the Cryptkins in a while. I've kind of really narrowed down what I want to do, and I still need to sell more collectibles, just because I want to consolidate my collection more into like FAs and things that I think are going to do well in the future sale wise. I mean, there's some art pieces I just like holding on to, like this Uprising one. How much is this? Yeah, 8.5 gems. There are a handful of decon art pieces that I do enjoy, and I do want to keep. But also kind of not necessarily stacking, but these jukeboxes, I think they're going for, yeah, like, you paid 7. Okay, that was during a different time. Could have sworn I bought a few of these for like less than 2 gems. Maybe not. I do think there might be something to this like music thing. I don't know. I feel like MC and kind of hinted at it a few times that like, well, it does play all music or some music or something. If you were ever to get a tattoo, what would it be? Probably something like small and subtle. I'm not gonna put some massive tattoo or like a whole sleeve or anything like that. There was like a point where I really wanted to like get a bunch of tattoos of just like all the stuff I was like really into, all the nerdy stuff. So like sounds ridiculous, but like Gandalf like fighting like Wolverine in space, and there's like the Enterprise like flying across the sky, and just like all kinds of like crazy stuff, and there's like a galaxy in the background or something like that. I'm like, dude, I like space and sci-fi and like medieval and, you know, all the kind of reckless like anti-heroes. Like I like all those characters. Like I like Spawn and Raphael from like Ninja Turtles and Wolverine and all those guys that kind of like went against the grain, you know, kind of lone wolf-ish type of people, but stolen psycho valor. Always wanted a walking joint. That's like your tattoo. But like I had to get like a singular tattoo. I'm not sure. I started reading Berserk, like the manga some time ago. I've read the first 5 books. I read them all like within a week. It's not that really hard to read. I mean, you can kind of get through a book in like an hour, and that's me taking my time, like looking at the art and stuff like that. So I need to keep reading it. I need to order more books off of Amazon. I might have to like look on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff, because the books do get a little pricey, and like the digital version's only like $1 less than the books themselves. And at that point, I'd rather just own the physical books, you know, to kind of like show off or to keep. Apparently Logan was some famed Native American, apparently. Really? Logan? Like the name Logan, or like the actual character Logan? I thought Logan was like his nickname. I thought his original name was like James Howlett or something like that. One of my brothers was like really into Wolverine. That's probably why I got into Wolverine. He was really into Wolverine. He almost like wanted to like legally change his name to Logan at one point. He wasn't an adult then. I mean, I think he was like 12. And he was like, when I get old enough, I'm going to change my name. It's like, sure. No, he never did. But I mean, Logan is Canadian, you know. I'm really glad I held on to this Sentinel. I think this one's animated too, this SR Sentinel. 1 Venom, 1 Carnage. Yeah, I'm kind of slowly, I'm really trying to get my collection down. that vending machine's actually pretty cool. I might have to mess with that in AR at some point. Kind of throw in like random spots around Arizona. I want to use the Jurassic Park gates, but it is so lagging. I don't think it'll even load on the app. The Sentinel is pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree. Is this one animated or is this a... All right, I don't think that one is, but I think the SR is animated. What's the price of Harley right now? I want to sell it. Wow, 18 gems, 19 gems. Close this really quick. Let's actually look what's up and what's down really quick on NFT tracker. What's it? I mean, there's a lot of things at an all-time low, but sometimes I just like to check this occasionally because sometimes you get surprised with the type of collectibles that are just super cheap. Is this the cheapest season 1 collectible, or at that like very first batch? Because remember, this is part of the very first drop on Veve. This was alongside like Todd and some of the other ones. Yeah, like down here. Yeah, Joe Mad, Rizzo. No, okay, the Joe Mad is cheaper, but yeah, it's pretty wild now. You can kind of get this whole first set for like less than 900 gems. When I want to look, but when Becky Cloonan himself, let me see. Yeah, when this alone, I mean, we're just talking a few years ago, was like over 1,000 gems. Now you can kind of get the whole set for under 1,000. That's pretty wild. I always remove the comics on here because if I leave the comics on, it's just absolutely flooded with all those like Veve comic ones, you know, like the more modern day comics. And it does get a little annoying. Wow, Starfire is really cheap. Are there a lot of people that like Starfire? I know she's in like Teen Titans and stuff, but like, is she like a popular character at all? Maybe outside of Teen Titans, not so much, but it's another kind of like girl. I do think there's going to be a point where, yeah, like season 1 collectibles are going to be sought after, just because people want to just, you know, buy or be a part of that like first set. Let's see. Delco dude, hey man, hope you're doing well. I am. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we're just doing a late night stream, kind of like low key, just kicking it. I know it was like super last minute. I didn't put a post out about it till like 5 minutes before, but Ernie here. Corey at an all-time low if you guys want to pick him up. Cool little animation. Oop, I clicked the wrong one. I meant to click 3. We'll check here anyway. I do like this one a lot, even though it's Ben Reilly. This is definitely one of the more kind of like acrobatic versions of Spider-Man that I really enjoy. Like, that's kind of the version of Spider-Man I enjoy a lot. I mean, I like the classic stance and stuff with like the FA Spider-Man, but wow, Symbiote suit is down to 16. This is essentially like the first appearance of the suit on the app, right? It's one of those weird ones where it's like, I think this one could be significant. Plus, it's animated with sound, but I think some people don't like the fact that it's maybe like on a light post or something like that. This would look good too on the diorama. Just having, You would have to clip the lamppost probably through part of the wall, so it looks like he's like standing on the edge. But I think this one will look very good with the diorama. Yeah, this is showing a bunch of the recent drops. Wow. Jim Lee Nightwing for 75 gems. Never heard of Starfire or Big Barda before the app. Yeah. I like Starfire's animated hair. Is it actually animated or is it just like all over the place? I do like her hair. The year is 2050. How much is Partners worth? Gosh, I don't know. It totally depends. It's one of those things where it's either going to be worth 0 or... you know, like 200,000, 500,000, something like that. I don't know. Sheesh, you're still online? I've only been streaming for an hour, if that. It's like I've been on all day. What's up, Hamoon? Thanks for stopping by. It could be way higher. I don't know. Greetings from Philippines on holiday with my mom right now. Nice. Glad you're enjoying time with the family. Get some lumpia. Get some... Are you around Manila at all or no? What else is gonna... No, that was not. How much would buy off by, Wes? Like $1 million? 2 million? 10 million? Yeah, this is the third page. Yeah, a lot of the pod racers are pretty cheap too. All right, after this, we'll look at the all-time highs. Yeah, these collectibles are close, but not quite at their all-time low yet. Ooh. I'm not even like a Lamborghini fan or a car fan in general, but for some reason, I just like the color and the look. Like, of all the Lambos, this is one of my favorite ones, and I might have to... It's at 45 right now. If it goes below 30 at some point, I mean, that's the thing too. There's a lot of cars, a lot of Lambos. So I don't think it's... These aren't drivable, are they? I think they're just like the doors and like the hood opens up. Up by about 10 million? Okay. We'll see. You can hold it against me at 2050. That's just so far out. You can't... It's hard to predict something that far out. Are you going for any of the drops this weekend? Let me see. Probably not going for the Falcon one, to be honest. I'll probably go for the diorama, at least one. What am I doing? Looking at the wrong one. Yeah, it's just these two. Probably go for the diorama. At the very least. I do want to go for at least one. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that it's 20 gems, but at the same time, it's the very first Veve diorama. And looks pretty cool. And, you know, there's a chance you can get a UR and SR on it. I agree. Me too. Yeah. I'll meet you in the middle, West. 5 million. Yeah, it's just hard to tell. By 2050, anything can happen. Either crypto gets hacked by quantum computers, or the entire debt-based system and inflation gets absolutely too insane, and we're now either exclusively trading with crypto or other some sort of digital like assets or something like that, or yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere in between. It's not going to be one of those two extremes, but you never know. You keep showing me them Captain Americas. I might buy one from the store. This one? They they look really good. I'll admit. This one in particular looks very good. But I know it's going to be a comment. I get good stuff off Veve Comics, but the main app is always hashtag Comic Gang. Dude, I feel you. Yeah, this is not one to like FOMO into or anything like that. Like the last couple drops, I kind of FOMO. I'll be honest, I did FOMO in a little bit on the Mandalorian comic drop, and I probably lost a little bit on it. I got pretty lucky. I got a few like low mints, and I was able to sell them for like above, floor price. But that one burned like a little hole in my bags. I'm heavy into crypto, but quantum computers will hack everything one day. So make sure you got hardware wallets, not financial advice. Yeah, like cold storage wallets, right? Too high a price point. Sorry, not going for it. Yeah, don't be sorry, dude. But the whole point is that you're not gonna get like people even David, you even said like 3-4 years ago, he's like, there's gonna be a point where you can't go for everything, because I do think there was a time, and I think it's just because, let's be honest, a lot of fake gems were pumped in the app, a lot of hype, a lot of stuff going on. Crypto is going parabolic. But there's going to be a time where it's like, yeah, you can't go for every drop. I do think there's a period of time where people were trying to get like every comic, go for every drop. I don't know if they were necessarily going for like every collectible, but I think they wanted one of everything, or at least one of something of everything. And that's just not, there's not enough money. Yeah. Oh my God, they're selling 6 varieties of Sam Wilson. Yep. Well, there's a special, in my opinion, there's almost there's really 2 chasers, and there's one that's like kind of like a break even. Maybe get like a tiny bit of profit, right? But odds are if you get the common, uncommon, or rare, I mean, if you guys want like some price predictions, like kind of quick predictions, it also depends on how many people buy. That was another thing too. Like back in the day, it was like a little bit easier to do price predictions because they would always sell out, right? And you can kind of like determine it from there, just based off of like, total mints and stuff. But nowadays it's like stuff doesn't always mint out. So it's like, I could say, the common's going to be 3 gems, but if only like 100 people go for the drop, okay, now the common is like 10 gems because there's only 4 on the market. It really depends on how many there are. When Wes puts it that way. But I will say, if you get the special edition of the SR, obviously you're going to make a good amount if you want to flip it. I think if you make the ultra rare, you might break even, but with like the 8.5% fee, you might lose a little bit. But it's one of those ones where it could go for 30. But yeah, these other ones are going to go well below. They will sell extraordinarily few of these, yeah, which is fine. I mean, if they burn these later on, don't they keep? I think they do burn these collectibles eventually. The comics they burn guaranteed after 30 days, but I think with these collectibles, it's kind of random. Like usually after like 3 to 6 months, sometimes even like 9+ months, eventually they'll like kind of come back around and tweet out like, oh yeah, we're gonna start burning these now. Yeah, the quality. Yeah, you can't question the quality. Yeah, unfortunately, at the end of the day. with the way the community's like treating these drops, it's just it always comes down to, you know, tags like FA, FE, mostly FA, right? Uh, Box price and mint numbers. You know, the box price is 20 gems. That's pretty good, but mint numbers and also like the amount of things you can get. There's quite a few. I'm still waiting for Cryptoys to do something. Same. I didn't get too invested on that one. I literally just, I didn't get in early, so I was just kind of like, whatever. But then they did the whole like BOGO deal, which was interesting. And so I bought like 10 cubes for the price of 5, and I just left it. I just bought the original Star Wars cubes from season 1 or whatever you want to call it from the first drop, and they're just sitting in my account. Like I'm just waiting for Cryptoys to either do something, or if people do get into Cryptoys again, and I could just sell those as is. In a weird way, I kind of like sealed product in like a digital format. That's kind of what I'm doing with candy too. Kind of what I wish I did from the beginning, but am I logged into my account? My collection. I did open quite a few stuff, but like more recent, like all these comics up here in the top row, they're all unopened. This Flash Comics is unopened. Both of these like Brave and Bolds are unopened, I believe, yeah. All these like Batman Beyond ones. I had a lot of comics. I will say I sold a lot of stuff like 3 years ago. Maybe not that long ago, but at least 2 or 3 years ago. If Veve got anything like sealed or card related or whatever it is, like if they got like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, just typically, you know, stuff in packs, you know, Pokemon, whatever. Magic the Gathering, for example, like if there was a way they drop Magic the Gathering and you could buy the packs but still keep them sealed and just sell them, right? That would be great. Cryptoys is dead, bro. Yeah, I thought I heard a few weeks back that they're working on something. I don't know. Like I said, I already have the 10 cubes. It's just chilling there. I'm just kind of holding it there, almost like a kind of like a moon bag, or just, you know, once Cryptoys come back. Will rugged you? I guess so. You got me. They dope for 5 gems. I agree. Yeah. I'm still holding on to my Grogu SR mint 6/6 on Cryptoys. Nice. Was it called a secret rare? It was like an ultra grail, right? Or what was it called? Secret grail. It was something like that. Yeah, I haven't been on Cryptoys in forever. Are they I'm trying to log in right now. Oh, whoops. I gotta check my email. I'm gonna do it right now. Give me a sec. Oh, wrong one. Well, their kind of like email confirmation thingy still works, so they're not completely dead. Right? Oh, there we go. All right, so here, I'll show you guys really quick. All right, I mean, glad you guys brought it up. This is my first time logging into Cryptoys for at least 2 years. At least. I have 10 of these, and that's it. I do have 2 items. Oh, yeah, I got like 2 golden tickets, too, for buying these. So, yeah, this is all I got. This seemed like the best bang for my buck I could kind of get. Like, if this... It's kind of the main reason I went to Cryptoys. I was like, all right, I can get double the amount of cubes and 2 golden tickets for half price, essentially. all these drops. Have they done anything recently? Vaulted. Market. Explore. Better filters. Legendary, Grail, Epic. Okay. Grail is the highest level, I guess. There's Legendary, then Grail. I thought there was Ultra Grail. I thought that was like another rarity. I also don't know what this like currency is that they have. But they're not completely dead, but it seems like they're at least in maintenance mode, preparing for whatever they're trying to do next. Ultra Rare, I couldn't think of the name, so I used Veve, yeah. Hey, what's up? SW. How you doing? Are you on Cryptoys, or was? Gosh, there was a point where I was on Veve, Cryptoys. It was Palm NFT then, not Candy. HRO. And God, I can't remember. At least like 2 other I was into like 7 projects, like all at the same time. It was almost like too much to juggle. And funnily enough, all the projects that I almost strictly treated as just like direct profit, I was like, all right, I'm not going to collect anything. I'm literally just going to get stuff and flip it, or when I think it's doing well, I'll just sell it. That's what I did with like HRO, and I actually did really well on HRO. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, the quality on this is insane. Okay, that's still there. I do like this rare one because this one is animated, I believe. He like throws his shield and it comes back. So this one could be interesting. I do like the fact that it's not like all the best stuff for the collectible is just like huddled around like the SR and Ultra Rare. Like I do think the rare has a pretty legit animation. I don't know if the uncommon or the common is animated, but I do know the rare is. I did see that in the little like trailer they had for it. So the rare could be a good pickup if it's cheap enough. Falcon is not Captain America. Yeah, he's like the rebranded version or whatever. I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, I still think the original Steve Rogers is the real Captain America. It's more like a mantle or like a title, I guess. At least that's how they're treating it. Well, I mean, let's call spade a spade, right? Captain America, he's not I mean, he's a superhero, but he doesn't have like special powers. I mean, he took a drug and he got super strong. Let's be honest. He's a user. But the real superhero aspect of him is, right, his courage, his selflessness, all that stuff, you know. It's just the drug just enhanced all those aspects of him. Last week on Corey and MC show, they said they would be a big announcement to talk about this week, but in true Veve fashion, it did not materialize. Yeah, they did announce, I think it was this. Let me see if I can find it. Is it in the comics? Updates? This. I think this was their big announcement. American Mythology, this new comic. It's like new IP coming to Veve. Indie Comics platform, American Mythologies. We're launching movie comics. Yeah, that is not the big announcement. There's no way. I don't know. I mean, they might still have a big one later, but I hate to say it, but sometimes I can't tell if something, it's like, to the everyday Veve user, it's not a big deal, but like internally, right? They hype it up and they talk and like, I know this person, like, gosh, we've been working this deal for so long. So like, it's one of those things where it's, yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like video games. I don't know if you guys have played video games where, I mean, at least right now, like the video game industry is kind of like going nuts, and you know everything's overpriced, and people are trying to charge like $80 from games and stuff. But there's been like a big like outcry from like developers and people that work on these games, like, you guys don't appreciate enough like what we do. It's like, yeah, we're the end user, like we don't, and unfortunately it's like we kind of don't care how long it takes to like make the thing. It's just like, what's the mints, what's the drops, you know what it is. So sometimes I feel like with some of these like announcements, you know, I think us, right, we hype it up so much, we're just thinking like, what's the next thing? You know, is it Dragon Ball or anime or whatever it is? I feel like we kind of blow it out of proportion. I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, just the more IPs, the more licenses Veve gets, the better. But it's almost kind of gotten to the point where it's like, all right, is this the big announcement or not? Or that's probably just more of a communication thing on Veve's end and us too, right? So. Jeff, I miss the Dirty Gem days. Yeah, I didn't take advantage of that, unfortunately. I kind of wish I did. I know there was some people that are just like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy half price gems. Or I mean, at one point the gems were like 30 or 40 cents a gem, and they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy it and just withdraw the money once we can kind of cash out. Like, you know, you're basically buying $1 for 30 or 40 cents. Like, why not? I did pledge the new 24/7 comic, Heroes Be Damned, on Kickstarter. It looks super dope. I do need to potentially do that, because don't you get like a free comic or something? Let me see if I can find that. I know what you mean. It's in one of these articles. Let me see if I can find it. Artwork. It's got to be on their X page, right? I'm going to check out their X page really quick. Yeah, it's a Heroes Be Damned. But I'm trying to find, like, there's like an article that tells you like almost exactly like how to apply or... And I cannot find it. As long as the game is good, we appreciate it, but the gaming industry is making crap games and trying to save it with patches. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the issue, the video game industry is kind of doing what movies are doing now, right? They're just, the games are the movies and the games are like formulaic. They're playing it safe. They don't want to do anything too different or interesting or out there, and they just come out with these like very bloated like just budgets. And it's like, one of my favorite movies like recently was like last year was it like Godzilla -1, and that whole movie had like a $25 million budget, and it was like one of my favorite like Godzilla movies of all time, right? And I think there's been other movies too more recently that have had like a pretty low budget and they've just done like really well. It's like, all right, you don't need, you know, to throw $300, $400, or $500 million at a movie, or some of these video game companies, right? Just spending an ungodly amount of money on these games and then asking everyone to spend $80 on it. Like, didn't take advantage of the dirty gems either. Yeah. I think the Veve Gold edition was the only for day one backers. I believe it's closed. Oh, day one backers for Heroes Be Damned. Okay, so it's already too late. So, all right, never mind then. Actually, I mistapped to buy the mouse, even though I could never get the comic. Yeah. Oh, you mean like actual like speed, where it's like down to your internet? Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about something else? Check out the trailer though; it looks incredibly good. Yeah, I'll have to check it out after the stream. I did. Have you guys read Planet Death yet? I mean, it's just the Zero edition, but I did. You know what I did? Hold on, give me 1 second. I do have the comic around here somewhere. Give me 1 second. All right, whatever. I can't find it right now. There was I did buy a. Let me just show it. I did buy the exclusive cover. I think it was the San Diego Comic-Con one. I think it was this variant. Yeah, it was this variant, which I don't think even is even on Veve. Yeah, I bought this from my local comic shop. Pretty sure I overpaid by like 10 or 15 bucks, but anytime I go to a comic shop, I try to get you know, there's like a facsimile or a couple of, you know, cheap like $2 comics. Then usually I try to get one that's like 10, 15 bucks. But this is a new, you know, comic on Veve and stuff. But yeah, I do like this cover. It's also black and white too. I just can't find it. Planet Death is one I actually like. I've never like I never like read comics from beginning to end, but I do think Planet Death is one where it's like, oh, I'm actually here while the comic is released, and I kind of want to like follow along with the story like live as it's happening. So I think Planet Death 1 has that come out already? Let me check over here. Has that come out yet? I think it had, or maybe not yet. Yeah, I don't know if it's out yet, but release is July 9th. Okay. So July 9th is when Planet Death #1, because we got like the, what do you call it? Like the prologue or whatever you would call it. Yeah, so Planet Death 1 isn't going to come out until July 9th. I do like the art on it a lot. All right, let me catch up with chat. I'm way behind. Osmond, what's up, dude? Yeah, I pledged to 247 as well. Nice. That comic looks so fire. I do like it. Dude, you should get the Planet Death comic. I bought extra. I was so upset. I actually bought extras. I still have like 5 or 6. I mean, if you go to your comic shop, they should be like $2. At least they were literally $2 each. I bought extras to share with the Veve fam at Tina's party, and I forgot to bring the comics. I was a little distracted because it was like a Generations like themed party, so you could dress up as like the like, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, like whatever you wanted to do. So what's up, Osmond? Yeah, thanks for stopping by, saying hi. You can see what people want, like Top Gun Maverick, which is old school vibes. Yeah, I'm with you vibes. I watched that Godzilla film in cinema. It was awesome. It was great. Yeah, you don't need a ton of money or whatever. In a weird way, like I would rather see a higher frequency of films coming out in the theaters and just doing random stuff, right? Just really far out there, like storylines and actors and like all kinds of stuff. So Flippy, love Veve, love your stream. Thanks, dude. Is this your first time here? I don't think I've seen your name before. Obviously, you've been in Veve for a while. I also don't stream super late at night, so I feel like I don't catch a lot of people over the pond. All of you tea drinkers over there. Eating your beans and toast. I don't think everyone in Europe eats beans and toast, but I read Planet Death. It's actually really good. Looking forward to July when it's... Yeah, exactly. If you haven't seen it yet, I did a live reading of Planet Death Zero with David Yu. It was loads of fun. Really? Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I've watched a couple of those videos, and I need to do better about commenting. Planet Death has major Warhammer 40k. Oh, for sure. That's why I like it. Yeah, I get that. Enjoying a new series as they are releasing. Yeah. July 4th. Oh, yeah. Yep. Like July 9th. I was following Spider-Boy, but it wasn't my thing. I think Planet Death is like right up my alley. I'm really enjoying Ultimate X-Men. I've got a run of that on Veve. Yeah. Yeah, I've never, especially in like real life, I've never followed like a whole run of comics or kind of said like, oh, I was there from the beginning. But Planet Death is definitely one right up my alley. And that's one I'm like, all right, I actually do want to follow along and buy the new one every time, you know? A full book of Peach Momoko art is something else. Yeah, that would be crazy. I do like her art. You know who I like her art a lot, you know, kind of like the watercolor-ish style and all that stuff, but I love, you know, this art too. Oh gosh, what's her? Baldari. Nicoletta Baldari. I've always really liked her art style too. It's just so unique. It's kind of weird. I kind of like this art style, then also just like the extremely just like gritty dark fantasy. There are no good guys. It's just like everything is just like grays and just like variations of evil. It's like Warhammer 40k, right? Like there are like no good guys. Everyone's evil at like different levels, except for the salamanders. I do like the salamanders because they're the only ones that are like somewhat humane. I never played Warhammer. I had a friend who played the Warhammer 40k like tabletop, like actual gaming. I think he lived in like Michigan and stuff. Me and him were close friends here. I've never played. I mean, I've watched videos on people playing it and stuff like that, but and I've watched like a ton of lore videos and stuff on it. So I got into it that way, but I haven't played like the tabletop version or anything like that. I love Predator versus Spider-Man. I have not. Let me look at Predator right now. Black Panther, is it Spider-Man 2 or 1? Or just the whole run? I have not looked at this at all. I'll be honest, unless I'm getting absolutely blasted on like social media or someone like mentions it somewhere in a very obvious way, I really don't go after the Veve comic section too often, unfortunately. I was there for like X-Men 97. I was there for Planet Death Zero. I was there for like the Marvel Rivals comic. So I feel like there are good comics that get released on there occasionally that I'm like really interested in, both from just like interest and I just think it's like, you know, profitable in the future. But this one does seem really interesting. Hello? I don't know why my screen's black. What do you think of that May Storm first appearance comic? May Storm first. You'll have to remind me which one that is. I don't know enough about May Storm. Is that like Sue Storm's kid, or is that actually related to like Storm from X-Men? I'll have to pick up Predator versus Spidey. Yeah. Ultimate X-Men 2. I've got a lot of those. Yeah, I'll have to look at those up. You guys are making me jump all over the place. That's fine. It's like exactly how my mind works. So. Ultimate. I'll just do Ultimate X-Men, see what happens. Number 2. Ah, yes. I had a few of these at one point. I think I unfortunately kind of sold a lot of these. I think on this one, yeah, I think I pulled the lever on this one a few times. I ended up getting like 2 commons and an uncommon. I don't even think I got a rare, and I ended up just kind of selling them all. But I do like the art cover on them. These are all very unique. SR cover looks really cool too. I think that's, what's her name? Like Armor, something like that. Beach Momoko is a superstar and only going to get more and more famous as rival pushes her out. Exactly. Or just in general. What was that? Let me look here. Wonder if people are still God, there's so many Daredevil comics now. Is it this one? That was like her first on the app. Is that right? I believe this is her first one ever on the app. Daredevil 25, the UR version. It's going for 10 gems right now. I believe that's it. Or am I thinking of something else? All right, let me catch up with chat. All right, wow, I'm not. Gotta run, guys. Kids are awake. Talk more soon. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Oz. Yeah, I'm kind of in love with that Nicoletta Mando cover. Yeah, I just like Nicoletta Baldari's art in general. Yeah, she's great. X-Men 27 has a variant cover of May Storm that precedes Ultimate X-Men. Ooh. Yes, that is her first on Daredevil app. Yeah. Nicoletta Baldari is the best artist in Veve, in my opinion. Definitely top. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, everyone has their personal preference, right? But I agree. I think she is at least top 5. I feel like she'd probably be top 5 for most people. You know, I feel like everyone's top 5 can shuffle around. Lately, the rares are my favorite collectibles, not gonna lie. Like the art. Just like on any comic, or you just mean like Nicoletta Baldari's like art? Man, no one's buying this X-Men number 5 on the floor. I have 2 gems. I meant to do that. Also, yeah, I had a question. Whoever's like really into comics, I've noticed this, but some of the early X-Men comics, is it just me or do they switch between the names like Uncanny X-Men and then just like normal X-Men? Because sometimes I'll look it up online and it almost seems like it switches between like canny and uncanny for some reason. At least like the early, like the early on ones. Like this one's just called X-Men. Like, let's do, at least maybe it's just the way like Veve puts them in the, like Uncanny X-Men number 10 for, but like number 5 isn't on here, I believe, because I think it's just called X-Men 5 and not Uncanny X-Men. Like, yeah, that one's called Uncanny X-Men 5. That's a more like modern comic. Uncanny X-Men 12. Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, that's kind of it. But if I do X-Men 5, see, it's right there. It's not called Uncanny X-Men 5. It's just called X-Men 5. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it just seems weird that like this first like run of X-Men, like some of the comics are uncanny and some aren't. Maybe they're more uncanny in some comics than others. The Death of Gwen Stacy, Nicola. Oh yes, which one is that again? I used to have all these comics memorized, but I used to spend so much time on the market. I would memorize all the names and numbers and stuff on the comics. It's just been a while. Nicoletta Baldari blocked me on Twitter when I invited her to Spaces, though. Yeah, she probably just didn't know what it was for. I mean, a lot of these, I think these artists like know what they're doing, but I don't think they realize like how many fans they actually have like on Veve and stuff like that. You see it all the time, right? Or even people that do their art or they have a collectible on Veve, like, wait, I have a thing on here? Like, okay, cool. I think the Uncanny starts in issue 93-ish. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that X-Men Uncanny. There's reasons for it. X-Men was the original title. I believe it went on hiatus at around 90, and then when it came back, it was renamed Uncanny. Yeah, but I mean, the ones I'm talking about were from like the 60s when it first came out. Like, I believe you, but maybe it's just the way Vivi's putting it on here. Yeah, like this one. Yeah, 1963 is when this one came out. It's like X-Men 5, but when I do X-Men 1, like Uncanny X-Men 10 is, that one's from the 60s too, right? Yeah. Maybe it's just the way Vivi's either labeling it, or maybe it's just a quirky thing that maybe it's okay to kind of flip-flop titles or adjectives at the beginning of the comic or something. I don't know. Okay, thank you. ASM 121 and 31. Okay. Sometimes it's easier just to type in the number. There you go. Than to like type out ASM. I just type one. As long as it's 3 digits long, you can kind of do any search, because if you just do 21, it doesn't work. It has to be at least 3 digits on Veve for it to search. But a workaround is if you are looking for a 2-digit, you can put a pound sign in front of it and then do like 21. And it'll show you all the ones with 21 in the front of it. So, little trick. Yeah, these are, gosh, dude, I still want this one. It's 100 gems. This is one of the ones. This one, and there's another one too. What was it? 31? Oh, let's see. I'll do the trick right now. I also wish it was a little bit easier to search for comics. Yeah, this one too is really nice. The umbrella. Wow, only 2 on the market. Yeah, it has all the like different panels of Spider-Man within the umbrella, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a Veve label because if you look at the cover, it just says X-Men. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to add Veve and be like, yo, what's going on? I was confused. Oh yeah, I forgot I got an ultra rare on the drop for X-Men. X-Men number 5. I do like this one. I did not get the SR. Although I do like the SR cover on this. Even though Beast's foot is taking up like 5% of the whole cover, I still like this. Cyclops looks really good in this one. It looks a little bit better than the SR version. For number 1. I've been watching for 31 to drop under 30, and it never does. I've been the same way about X-Men 10 in the common. Like, I mean, it's so scarce that they might not just have a reason to undercut. You do have 121. Nice. That's the one I really want, but it's just out of my price range. Maybe if I get super lucky with like a uber low digit thing or something super scarce, I can kind of afford it without feeling guilty. Get a little tired, but we'll push through it. All right, well. Got both of those for around 17. Big fan of her art. Nice, dude. That's a huge snag. Do you own any original art? No, I don't. Like the ones you have to bet on? Or like bid on? No. Did they stop doing those? I feel like they were doing those like pretty consistently. On Veve or IRL? Yeah, I do actually. I mean, on the wall behind me, I literally have, I don't think can't really see it. I mean, there's the Addiction comics. Actually, just grab something over here. Let me see. I actually do have quite a few of these. You know, just the, I got the Virgin variants too. Yeah, like, I did buy quite a few of these when I went to the New York Comic Con. I'm like, all right, if I'm going to fly all the way out there and spend all this money, like, I might as well just buy as many of these comics as I can. Got the Virgin variants too. I just don't, I really need to organize my room so I kind of have all that stuff within arm's reach. But I have that, and then even the Spider-Man, I think it's like still on eBay. Yeah, Spider-Man 59. I mean, it's still on eBay. I mean, if you guys don't know, I mean, these are still like on eBay for whatever. I think I got a couple of these, like the Frank Metler ones. Just type in Veve Comics. I think that's the one that pops up, yeah. The rest of these, yeah, there's some Addiction stuff. So I have that, and then, yeah, and I think that's it for, like, original art. Talking about, like, ultra rares, like the Veve exclusive stuff. What am I looking for? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I have a lot of comics. I have them all kind of stashed away somewhere, at least like most of them. But yeah, next time I'll have to get them within my arm's reach, because I feel like I do get asked that like once a week, like, oh, what comics you got? But Vibes, check What If Venom form and tell me that you are Nicola Baldari art. All right. Let's do What If. Ooh, I like this cover. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, Wolverine's a vampire. What the hell? It's kind of wild looking. I don't know if you guys can see that. Wolverine's like biting the crap out of Phoenix. That SR cover, though, is pretty awesome. I really like that cover. Even though he's a vampire, that looks pretty awesome. All right. Let's not get distracted. All right, I gotta go back. That's why. Is that, what'd you say? What If Venom? I think I'll just find the Venom mention. Venom, what was it, 2 or 4? Oh, come on. Venom 4? Alright, let's take a look. You said the UR? Is this it? Oh, I can't really get a good look at it. Let's zoom in. There we go. That does look really cool. It's not like my favorite art of her, but dude, that looks pretty wild. What is he supposed to be combined with? Like what other character? Oh, Loki. Okay, that's what I figured. At first I thought it was the Green Goblin, but Loki and Venom, yeah, that's really interesting. He's got like his staff and everything. That's pretty wild. I've kind of gotten to the part now where there's some comics I'll just collect for the cover art. I'm just not in a rush to get those, but no, I agree. That is a really cool looking one. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Juan. I appreciate it. And is this your first time hanging out here? I feel like I've got a lot of first time. I mean, I usually don't stream this late at night, so this is kind of new. The thing is, it isn't Nickelodeon Butter, which I don't believe it is. It's not? Adro, what's up, dude? Hola. Or aloha, sorry. Hi, sorry. No, I just haven't opened anything Veve related in a while. Hey, dude, I don't blame you. But there's a lot of stuff happening on Veve now. Stuff is super cheap. I don't know how long it's been since you've last been on. I was almost thinking about, and I need to start doing these videos, but I was almost going to do like a recap of the last like 3 years, because I feel like there are a lot of people that like left Veve, you know, 1, 2, 3 years ago and kind of want to get back in, or they just don't want to, you know, try and play catch up. So I might do like a review of each year and kind of like what are the kind of like highlighted drops and features that Veve released during that time, just to kind of like catch people up quickly, like where Veve's at now compared to where they were, you know, a couple years ago. So League of Comic Geeks says it's Nicoletta. I don't know. Used to watch you a lot in the past. Okay, yeah. I'm still making stuff now, inconsistently, but still waiting for the masses of people to show up. Oh, never mind. It's her arm, my man. Thanks for bringing it up, though. I haven't seen it. What to pull over and try to land it. Well, good luck. Good luck on landing it. Got it on my first pull. Wishing you the best of luck. Yeah, dude. Good luck. Let us know what you get. Is that something I can see on... I'm curious. Let me see. Does... Does a Mutascan work on... I'm like, is there a way we can find out what you got before you actually tell us? I don't know if a Mutascan works on Veve Comics. I feel like it should, though, right? Mint. No, it is. Okay, I see some mints here. I'm assuming this is from yesterday's deal. Nicoletta Baldari sold one of her original cover online. I wonder how much it went for. Let's see. With the power of the internet, anything is possible. Recently, would you say like in the last week? Ooh. Sorry. Common Gang? Red. Is it going to show up here? Oh, there it is. Yep. I won't lurk around in your wallet. I've been meaning to try and keep track of like which. I feel like it's pretty easy to find most whales on here, but I do. Part of me wants to actually bookmark some of their wallets, so I can kind of look in there and like, all right, what's Mr. Rolex buying? What's this person, buying or selling right now? I think that is kind of an interesting aspect, and it's doable through a Mutascan. And I know there's other tools too, but I think there's going to come to a point where people are going to be like, all right, what are the whales doing? What are they buying? Why are they flooring this? And sometimes if someone's selling something, dude, I forgot back in the day, like, dude, you were like verbally condemned if you were like selling stuff and be like, why are you selling this? Are you bearish? Do you not believe in it? It's like, dude, I just need gems. It's like, I don't know, the thing I think I could either sell the quickest, or the thing that I thought I liked at the time. Now I'm just like, all right, whatever. But can't chase it now. I'll lose my head when I keep pulling that lever. Dude, I feel you. Just wait. Someone will floor it one day. Yeah, I agree. I do think there are a lot of people kind of, not relisting stuff, and there's not a whole lot of activity. But, once we start getting more users on here, once Veve starts advertising, once the crypto bull run like really hits off, people start taking profits. People are, I do think Veve definitely has a place in like the kind of the NFT space, right? People really want decentralization, but at the same time, I think a lot of the people that are either new to NFTs or at least familiar, they don't want to roll all their crypto profits into a project that's either going to like rug or deal with cold wallet, seed phrases. If you lose your cold wallet, you just kind of like lose everything, right? So that's another like physical aspect you have to keep track of. It's like, all right, I thought the whole point, of digital was so that I didn't have to keep something physical. And if I lose that, I lose everything. So there is benefits of it being centralized, and the people that highly value decentralization, those aren't the people Veve's trying to attract anyway, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at Steam, right? Technically on Steam, you don't own anything. You're just like renting the license to use it, right? But you can still sell stuff, buy stuff, right? I remember selling like Counter-Strike crates and guns and keys and TF2, Team Fortress 2, like hats and stuff. It's like, I technically never owned any of it, but people are paying lots of money for it back and forth. So, and it's all centralized on Steam. So, yeah, I just bought a R2D2 this week. I got to chill on pouring in the fiat. Yeah. I've had to really, it's very easy on Veve to kind of get caught up with just buying stuff that like looks cool, or that like in the moment I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. But after you get a while, or once I kind of step back, and I don't have, I can't just, like you said, some people just can't constantly just pour in fiat, right? I mean, if you can, great, go for it. But if not, or if you're trying to work with the gems you got. This was one of the ones I went for. There's a handful of collectibles where I'm just like, dude, I'm just going to keep pulling the lever till I get it. The penny black one was the one I actually got. I have the physical somewhere. That's another thing. Maybe next stream. I need to get all my like Veve physical stuff together and kind of show it off. But I still have the stamp. So now I'm technically a stamp collector. And it's also the first stamp ever made, which is kind of cool. So it's definitely one of the best animated nostalgic collectible, yeah. Yeah, I've wanted it since the drop. There was one Wanderfloor that someone just won on a giveaway, so I grabbed it. Good call. I just love Veve assets. I can think of, I think this stuff is super dope. No, yeah, it is awesome. I am trying to find a balance between collecting and eventually selling the majority of my collection for, profit, right? Like even now I'm thinking, I mean, I do want to keep the Book of the Dead just because I'm a big nerd and I do like Cthulhu and all that kind of stuff, and even just kind of like weird. But like Nessie, I think I have this one listed on the market. How much stuff do I have listed on the market? That's a good question. I have a lot of stuff. This is all stuff I've listed on the market, and I still need to list more stuff. What's the floor price on this one now? It's got to be down. Yeah, it's way down. Sometimes I'll do this. If you go on my, I mean, if you're ever trying to sell stuff or if you're trying to find things to sell in your collection, usually I'll go here and do all-time high. And just see like which collectibles are at an all-time high right now. Like if you have this Stitch right now and you're not in love with it for whatever reason, I mean, technically it's at an all-time high, so you could probably still undercut this by a good amount. Maybe someone will buy it that's been waiting for a Stitch. Gosh, look at all these artist proofs or whatever they're called. Oh. Get some of this. Yeah, like same thing with this one, like this Saber-Tooth Wild Dominance, the rare. It's at 40 gems right now. Do I have one? I feel like I did this last stream and I close candy. I'm gonna try and like clean this up a little bit so I'm not tabbing so much. There we go. I do not have the rare. I have the uncommon, but that's fine. Yeah, so it's like I usually just look at all-time highs, and if I just remember or I just so happen to have one of these collectibles, I'm like, all right, now's a good time to floor it. Or at least undercut the floor or whatever, like right now. Well, that's a special edition, that's why. I guess this Galactus. Yeah, his all-time high was 20 gems. Now he's almost 18, so not a terrible time. Like put out a sale for him if you own him. Wives keeps yawning every time reading my content. I'm just tired, dude. It's not you. I'm just tired. All good, fam. Yeah. I've been selling cheap stuff off, duplicates. I want gems for Grogu. Yeah. I did I put as much as I could into Grogu when he dropped. I only had like 500 gems at the time, so I only bought a few. What's he at right now? Honestly, I have not looked at his floor price. 205. What do the listings look like? Yeah, 220. Yeah. I think this is another Grail. I don't know how high, but it's going to be a big deal. As long as Star Wars doesn't absolutely fumble the whole like Grogu Mando thing. I haven't even watched. I think I've only watched part of season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I need to catch up on it. Or no, I watched most of it. Take that back. I had to have Galactus SR. It was too awesome. Yeah, Grogu Pram is legendary. It is really good, especially when he goes in and out. The Pram like that. Not bad. I see Grogu a few days ago at 159. Yeah, he's moving up a bit. I think once people found out that there's no more Star Wars stuff and there's not another random airdrop or surprise announcement. I mean, there's only what, 2 days, 3 days left in the month. 2 days, yeah, and it's unlikely Veve's going to do like a surprise Star Wars thing. So I think people, I think I said this before. I think people are going to circle back and buy some of these. Not Dinjarin, Mandalorian. What's he at right now? 57. Yeah, he was at like 55 before, then it jumps up to 62. But I remember his low was like 45 or something like that. So I do think, I thought people were going to come back around and buy this. Maybe people have been, but Andor's getting high reviews. I really enjoy Andor. I have not watched Andor. There's just so many shows coming out that I just couldn't keep up with all of them. Speaking of shows, I did watch, like, I remember hate watching The Acolyte with my friend like a year ago, and now this year, actually is it next month or like in a couple weeks, right? Ironheart's coming out. Haven't heard the best things about it, but we'll see when it comes out. From what I've heard, a lot of people are saying it's like The Acolyte 2.0. It's hard to want to buy anything else while Grogu and Pram at 1,000 copies is sitting there. Yeah, true. There were a couple of really cheap Grogu and Pram on Stacker yesterday. Yeah, dude, Stacker's a good little... I just wish... Let's go to Discover. All right, I'm taking these sunglasses off. They are just like wrecking my face. It's like a cool look at first, but it is just like hurting my face. Much better. Now I might be a little bit more awake now that the light is hitting me directly in the eyes and I don't have a, a tint there. What am I even looking up? Yeah, Grogu? No. Yeah, it's technically cheaper, $193. How much does it go up to though? Once with the fee though? Oh, it only adds an extra like $388. That's not bad. Yeah. It's still technically below floor, but I really wish it would. Stacker floor. That's what I'm looking for. I wish there was a like difference to floor option like on this page. That way I don't have to always click into it to figure out like how far off it is from the floor. I have to like switch back and forth. Wow, this goes pretty far. There it goes. I organize it this way because this shows you the cheapest things you can get on Stacker. So this someone's selling a stamp. This Lunar New Year one for like 77 cents. Also, Stacker's a way you can actually sell stuff for under a gem. So I guess technically if you do have a comic you're just trying to like absolutely get rid of or you have a bunch of stacks of it, you can put it on Stacker for less than a gem and people can buy it. Because on Veve you can't sell stuff for less than a gem. All right, let me catch up with chat. Yeah, Grogu can jump easily a few hundred gems before you know it. Tito 420, what's good, dude? Hope everyone's doing well. Little puff, puff, puff. I enjoyed Andor quite a bit. All right, I do see Acolyte I do want to see Acolyte for myself. I've heard such horror stories about it. Yeah, it's just the acting, the storytelling. I will say the choreography for some of the lightsaber fights were actually pretty interesting and actually pretty good. But it happens like way too late in the show. I'm trying to remember how many episodes it had. Let me see. Diaco. Is that how you spell it? Eight episodes. Episodes 6 and 7 were the best ones. Everything else is nah. Because that's where the most lightsaber fighting happens. Skeleton Crew was not it, although I'm not a very critical person. I didn't really like it. Skeleton Crew, is that Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Wars. Oh, Skeleton Crew? Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I was pleasantly surprised by Skeleton Crew. It brought me back to Goonie days. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard anything like terrible or like amazing about it either way. At least just like online. I mean, I do spend too much time on YouTube. And usually when a new show comes out, I kind of at least stumble across a YouTuber or like a reviewer that talks about it, whether it's like Critical Drinker or not Screen Rant, but there's a couple other YouTubers I watch. Sometimes sometimes they're like too critical, or like Critical Drinker, I think sometimes he thinks like every show needs to have some like super deep meaning and be like extremely well written and stuff like that, but or like movie level writing and stuff. But other than that, usually I agree with them. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of comics for under a gem right now. A little behind on chat. Let me catch up. More people are acting like it's horrible. I kind of like it, but for me, some lightsabers and some androids is almost enough for a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I thought it'd be great for kids. Okay, definitely agree. Good kids. Yeah. If people are just worried about woke stuff, they forget to actually just enjoy the show, relax. Yeah, there are some shows where it's just you do just turn your brain off. But I will say, like, the issue with the Acolyte is it is just so slow and dragged out. I mean, it's been like over a year since I watched it, and already I'm like, ugh. I mean, you should just watch it just for the sake of it. But my favorite villains is Cad Bane, so very excited about the new show. Nice. What, the Tales from the Underworld? Yeah, I've seen a promo, but I haven't heard much about it. Cad Bane is very cool. We need Cad Bane on BB. I think his face is on a comic, I remember. Like one of the Star Wars ones. I just don't remember which one. I thought there was one of that on BB. But we don't have him as a collectible. At least not yet. Tales of Suspense. Yeah, some of these are... I think I'm fading. I think I'm going to go for a few more minutes and call it. Unless you guys want me to talk about something or cover something really quick. Mark D, what price are you looking at for Grogu? Are you waiting for it to go below like 180? Maybe even lower? So have a lot of big Star Wars characters not on VV. Yeah. Even just from the original cast. It's like we don't have Han Solo or Chewie or Leia, right? No Darth Maul, no really others. No Emperor, no. It's... And you can even do the whole line of like bounty hunters and stuff like that. Jar Jar Binks, Darth Jar Jar. Do you guys believe Darth Jar Jar was a thing? Do you think George Lucas was trying to essentially retell the story of like, gosh, what was it? I don't know. It had something to do with like, I think he really liked the story of like the old, or kind of like the fool that like everyone undermines or doesn't think they're very smart. That was kind of like Yoda in the original series. Like when Luke first met him, he was kind of like a fool. He didn't know if he was even Yoda. He thought he was just some like old bumbling little like creature being silly. So he kind of like underestimated him, right? But then he turns out to be very powerful. And I think that was the thing with Jar Jar too. It's like, all right, he's kind of like a bumbling fool, but he can kind of do a lot of stuff. But I've been expecting an evolvable of Leia and her different outfits. You just want the bikini clasp one. Just say it already. The Jabba the Hutt. We do have Jabba. And Admiral Akbar and a few others. Yeah, we do have some good collectibles. Oh, I got Gogu and Prems. I wasn't missing that. Oh, okay. Also grabbed number 34 Grogu Rare for a good price. Nice. Yeah, that's a very low mint. Congrats. Yeah, I don't have any unique or like low mint stuff anymore. I've kind of sold a lot of my unique mint stuff, honestly, to like kind of comic collectors or just people that kind of collect unique mints. Kind of helps me out liquidity wise, and two, and it's like I kind of give collectors what they want. Todd is at 333. It's interesting. He was like 250 about a month ago, but then recently he kind of ran up. I think someone did buy a big floor on him. Let me look it up really quick. All right, someone bought one today. Yesterday, another one yesterday. Yeah, but there was a period in time. Yeah, this was. Yeah, like right now, Todd is averaging probably anywhere between, or he was. Even then, I think he's still averaging like 1 or 2 sales a day. But sometimes you just get these days where there's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are bought on the same day. And then again here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 of them all bought the same day. There's plenty of different ways to collect on Veve. Yeah, there's no, quote unquote wrong way, right? I remember some people asking me back in the day, and even now occasionally, like, oh, is it better to own like a few collectibles that are like very expensive, or to like own a bunch of different ones? I'm like, dude, you can do whatever you want. Like, my strategy, me personally, is to like collect FAs, collect runs of like 1 through 10s ideally, or like eventually, and keep like a handful of stuff that just, that are kind of like meaningful to me, or stuff I kind of saved up for. There's kind of like a story behind the collectible that I like to tell. Usually I'll keep it. That's how it is with most of these, I would say. Like, let me it's floor price. I like the Black Penny one. That's just, I just like FOMO'd into that one because I really wanted the physical. Todd is one I saved up for a long time. Professor X actually got at New York Comic Con and for free, because I went to the event and they were handing out these like scan codes on like business cards and stuff. So that was pretty cool. I'm thinking it was Alex G actually handed me that, which is pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I got. Yeah, see, I got this for free because I got it through a QR code. But the Magneto I did have to pay for, I believe. I think I got him in a blind box. Was it blind box, or I think you get to pick your collectible on that one? I don't remember. Yeah, but some of these I do want to get rid of. I'm keeping this like take me out to the ball game for MCP points. But yeah, I do need to sell this like random stamp I have. It's not even part of a set. Nessie, I thought he was pretty cute. I might use him for AR one time for, again, like B-roll, but I do kind of want to get rid of him. Same thing with Maestro. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, if someone's coming on Veve and they're a big Hulk fan, I mean, they might collect them all, but I think people are always going to prioritize like the OG Hulk, right? Gosh, how much did I spend on this Throg? Do I want to know? 500? Ugh. No, I don't want to know. It's fun not knowing what will ultimately be the best buying strategy. Everybody has their own speculation. Yeah, that's what's going to be fun. I mean, all you can really do is infer from what current collectors are doing, right? I think 99.9% of the time, most collectors, first appearances are a big deal, right? Whether it's like a rookie card, base set, Pokemon, or the original like alpha set or whatever it is from Magic the Gathering, like whatever, is like usually the first set or the first cards, whatever it is, you know, first appearance, like that usually holds the most value, right? Especially with like athletes cards and stuff. I mean, I've never collected, but from what I've heard, it seems like, yeah, usually the rookie card is more expensive than all the other years like combined, typically. And typically when someone does mention a collectible, usually they're inferring or, you know, referencing, you know, the first appearance, right? Because if someone says, "Oh, I got Batman on Veve," people are like, "Wait, okay, is it Todd or is it all the other kind of like whatevers?" Right? Same thing with a lot of other stuff. Typically, if you say the name of a collectible on Veve, it's kind of assumed you have it's the first appearance, right? Unless you specifically mention it, right? So Veve has been great for me, but I'm starting to think that we will not see all-time highs of some of these collectibles. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think there's a good, I mean, if you look at, because there's like because the same way that we treat collectibles, right? Like, let's look at this drop. Like this one, Captain America, right? Like the same way we treat these drops, right? Where it's like, all right, I'm going to go for this. And if I get one of these 3 ones here, it's like, all right, it's probably going to be below retail, right? Maybe not. I don't know. Probable. I mean, definitely the common, uncommon, or rare could be interesting, but I think he's still going to be below retail, even with the animation. It's kind of one of those things where even stuff with really good animations like this, I think this... Is it all one word? Iron Man? No, it's 2 words. Let me actually do this. I think this collectible has the best, if not one of the best, animations on the app. I know the mint number is, you know, a little on the high side, but he's still like half of box price. So we're kind of at the point now where it's like even just like cool animations aren't enough to kind of like keep the price propped up, right? Plus, the collectible has been around for almost 2 years now. Wow. July 23rd, 2023. I think that, I mean, the way that people treat like these blind box ones, right? It's, you know, and the disparity between the secret rare or whatever all the way down to the common. The same thing I think is going to happen in the Veve market at large, where it's just the grails are just going to get further and further and further away, and all the kind of like quote unquote lower end or more collectible stuff are going to stay, you know, low. You know, it's unlikely that some of these like independent artists collectibles or even some of the like lesser known like Marvel characters or non-FAs, it's like odds are they're probably not going to hit 300-400 gems again. You know, they might hang around, you know, 10, 20, and that's fine. I think that's why, you know, Veve can make, you know, 400 more Iron Mans, but the Golden Moment Iron Man is still always going to be the FA. Yeah. Really like Peach Momoko SRs with 40 copies, but only about 10 of us on the app really care. And that's the thing, like for some of these things that are like very rare, I remember someone was talking to me about Elsa. And I thought I was like crazy that like people would like prefer this Elsa over that one, even though this one's like way more scarce or whatever it is. Like, is this Elsa? I think there's like 400 or 500 of these, maybe even less. We don't know, Tito. Cloudy the future is. I like that. What's up, Tucson? You're back. I'm gonna head off soon. I'm getting pretty tired. Okay, this is 120 gems for this Elsa. And there's how many mints? 600. While the other Elsa is roughly, what, a third of the price? Half the price? But it has like 20 times the mints. Yet it's still half price. I mean, this thing did go through a bull run, and a lot of people probably top blasted this thing and bought it for, 7,000 gems. But the only thing I can say for sure is that I really love collecting on Veve. I'm not unique. There are plenty out there just like me. I hope someday they will get it. I've been collecting a long time, but I haven't bought any physical collectible stuff since 2021. Yeah. Physical collecting is... I'm starting to learn how annoying it is, and I understand why people have kind of ventured away from it. I'm enjoying it because it's new to me, and like I said, I still want to buy and get more physical stuff. But Veve is just so much easier. It's so much easier to sell it. I don't have to worry about shipping or any of that stuff. And plus, it's like, as much as I like collecting, my whole plan is to like, eventually I need to sell more on here and like reconsolidate my collection. Is just like, all right, get the thing that I think big time collectors and people with lots of dinero will want to buy. And then once that happens, I'll just get what I want after the fact. Now I can actually start like collecting the stuff I want and completely not care about the price. Besides a Funko Iron Man, some Mermacornos, 247 comics to get the Veve exclusive. Nice. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Mark, you just love collecting. And, dude, there's going to be a lot of people. Hopefully, there's going to be more people like you on the app. I'm sure there will be. We should get them to hear about Veve. Get the AR feature going. Usually, I will say AR has gotten much better now than what it was like years ago. I was messing with it, like I said, the other day on my phone, and it's like, oh my God. No, there's still some issues with it. Sometimes it can't find the floor or the like surfaces and stuff, and sometimes you have to like reset the thing or like restart the 3D camera and stuff. But trying to sell my SR Mals got on the drop since the beginning of the year. I always undercut. I finally sold it today. 600 gems under floor. Nice, dude. Congrats. What are you gonna you're just gonna pocket the gems? I mean, at the end of the day, gems is king on Veve. So did you have something in mind, or are you just gonna kind of just pocket the gems and wait for either a big drop or a big announcement to happen, or maybe for something to get super cheap? One I still don't have is Superman. For some reason, I've really held off on trying to buy him. He's at 125 right now. The wrong way. What's his all-time low? Is that his all-time low? Come on, Superman. Yeah, that's pretty darn close. 119 was technically his all-time low, like 3 weeks ago. Could he go lower? Maybe. Of the Grails, I think he is the one with the most mints, like more mints than Todd, more mints than obviously more than I would say a good amount of the golden moments. More than Joker, all that stuff. The vast majority of people despise crypto NFTs. People in a bubble forget this. Yeah. Well, hopefully this crypto bull run will be a bit different. I mean, more people are in Bitcoin and crypto now more than ever. But I agree, there's still a huge stigma against it, even though there's multiple ETFs out there and stuff about it. But it's the, people don't like the volatility of it. People don't like that there's not a lot of regulation around it yet. And people are saying, oh, Bitcoin's too volatile. Technically, Bitcoin's not changing at all. Bitcoin being volatile actually says more about the US dollar than Bitcoin itself. I sold it for 6,420 and 69 gems. Yeah, dude, the meme is what helped you sell it. I love it. 100x what I paid. Let's go, dude. That's awesome, dude. The hardest part is not buying, it's selling. selling your collectible or comic or crypto or whatever that's the hard part. Buying it is easy. Anyone could just press the button, buy, 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 right? That's easy to do, but selling it is difficult. Congrats on the sale, dude. That's awesome. Or you can cash it out, do whatever you want to do. That's awesome, Tito. Putting my 5K into Ondo and keep 170 gems in my account with Veve fee and withdrawal fee. That's all I got. Nice. Not too familiar with Ondo. I think most of my bag, it's a combination of like different altcoins and other things. Obviously, it's Omi. I have some Caspa. I have some, obviously, Solana. Oh my gosh, what are some of the other ones that I have? I'm trying to remember. A lot of the stuff is in like my cold wallet, so I never look at it and I kind of forget like what's on there. Plus, I'm a little tired. Devi. Devi's another one I have a little bit of. I feel like I got some more like DeFi plays and stuff, but I just don't know. I do think like DeFi is going to do really well. Anything kind of related to like loaning and brokerage firms, all that stuff, like they're all going to leverage that. Unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately, but like I do think NFTs in general, because it's such a like collectible thing, or a like a beveling good. I remember that term I learned from watching, was it Andre Jank or whatever, what he's talking about, Veve. I don't think NFTs are going to really pop off till like the later half of the whole crypto run and all that stuff. So I do love Miles SR. It's an amazing piece. It really is. That one is the perfect, in my opinion, like almost like the perfect grail. It's like the perfect balance of like very, very good animation, very popular character, very scarce, has all three. But then again, you can't argue with pocketing $6,000, right? And I already know some people on Veve that are selling a lot of stuff and just putting it into crypto because they're thinking, well, this is going to pump first once I sell it, and then I can roll it back into Veve. And by then, like, all right, Superman's at 125 now. He might go up to like, you know, maybe 300-400 by the time I come back, but that's only like a 2x, you know, 2.5x versus I put in some crypto and I'll get a 10x, 8x, 15, whatever you invested in. Get more of a return on that, and then just come back to Veve after the fact with Omi. You know, buy what you want, whatever. I feel like that's kind of like a lot of people's strategy. Probably should be doing that, but I'm just kind of getting distracted and getting lazy selling all my stuff on Veve. Plus, there's only so much like liquidity go around. Sometimes you have to do like some deep undercuts, kind of like what Tito said. Like you had to undercut by like 10%, and that's on like a grail too, right? Sometimes I'm catching myself undercutting by like 15-20% just to get rid of the thing, at least in like a semi-timely fashion. I mean, yeah. I mean, I love Veve. I want to spread the word about it. Do want more people to see it. And I do think, you know, there's niches out there for everything. I like to focus on like the market aspect, and you know, but I like to collect stuff, and I like art and Nicoletta Baldar. I like all the stuff too. So it's not, I'm not here just cutthroating it, only talking about numbers and all kinds of stuff. So you live and you learn. I had the chance to sell my miles and buy half a Bitcoin when it was at 16K. Oof, yeah. I think we were all there. We all wish we owned a Bitcoin. I do think. All right, I'm gonna get off here in a few minutes. I'm getting tired and it's getting late. But I don't think this is the last entry point for like Bitcoin, right? I do think retail and, you know, the big finance industries are going to like FOMO into Bitcoin. There's going to be a whole lot of money that floods into it. Going to be a big sell-off. And I really do think we're going to have a big like .com bubble all over again. potentially, like a 2.0. People are going to be just throwing money at all kinds of just like crypto projects and this and that. And like, you know, obviously you can go with the established ones, but people are going to go for like the home run shots, right? They think they get 100x or whatever it is. So I do think there's going to be another like .com bubble where people are just going to throw money at all kinds of projects. A good amount of them are going to go under, or the chain falls apart, or, you know, whatever the deal is. And it's going to be pretty crazy. I'll talk more about it, but I'm beyond exhausted, so. And after all that shenanigan happens and people are going to start doubting crypto again or whatever it is, or, you know, whatever the sentiment is, then that's going to be another entry point to get back into, you know, Bitcoin or ETH or whatever your crypto is, or back into NFTs, whatever it is. So I do think there's like, but then again, who knows? That's my thesis on it. I do think there's going to be another big pullback. Then after that, who knows? And I'm still surprised by the quality of this. I might, we'll see. It might come down to a game time decision. Right now, I'm 90% sure I'm not going to even bother putting 20 gems into this, but like the quality is pretty high, and it's one of those ones where it's like, I mean, technically 3 out of the 3, if you get lucky enough, you could either break even or make a small profit, which is nice. All right, let's look at the market really quick, and then I'm going to end the stream. Yeah, they look really good. So that's one thing you can't blame it for, is that it looks good. But, you know, then, you know, for me, mostly, I think the rare is really cool. I think I might just wait for the rare in the market, because that's like the shield throwing animation, which is pretty unique. The wing stuff is really cool, but it's not a smart buy, but they look good. Yeah, that's why I feel bad doing like price predictions and things like that. You know, it feels like I know it's not like fudding Veve or whatever, but it's like, dude, it's just a matter of fact. Like, look at any drop that's happened between now and mid 2021, you know, 3.5 years. It's like the same thing kind of happens over and over, right? All the value accumulates to the most scarce, like usually 1 or 2 rarities, and then everything else is just like well below retail. You know, people just treat the blind box like opening like a card pack or like a Pokemon pack, right? It's like, all right, out of this pack, there's 100 different cards. I'm looking for 3 of them that will actually give me big profit. Another 3 will help me, like 4 help me break even, but the other 93, 94 cards are just less than $1, you know, pennies. Who cares? But these 6 cards out of 100, this is what I'm looking for. So Roku and Pram, like the only good drop this year. That is a good thought. You might be right. I will say Veve usually does. Veve usually does a good job dropping at least 1 decent grail every like 3 to 4 months. Grogu Pram. That compares? All right, let's keep going. Nothing yet. Definitely not Blackpink stuff. Definitely not the X-Men or Beating the Beast. As cool as Gambit is, I don't think he's a Grail. Yeah, I don't think so. How much is some of this Banksy stuff going for? Oh, this is like the MCP ones though, right? $7.97. Arguably, maybe some of the Banksy stuff, but that's for MCP points. I don't know if I would really count that as like a drop. Oh God, I forgot about this drop with all like the LA fire stuff. Yeah, dude, so many hearts. I actually do like these kind of like these supporting cause ones, like the I'm trying to remember, there was another one like that. Yeah, like this year, no, there hasn't been any grails on par with Grogu. Galactus is cool, but I don't think he's like a grail by any means. Alright, I think I'm calling it, guys. Getting beyond exhausted. Yeah, I've been streaming over 2.5 hours and it's almost midnight. But no, I like this, even though there's not a ton of people watching. I liked hanging out with you guys. And Mark, it was nice seeing you, dude. Mark, are you like East Coast, West Coast? Outside the US? Vibes tapping on. Yeah, dude, I've been going for a while. Thanks for the show, man. Thanks for staying on. Hinano, what's up, dude? Let me know. I know we talked last week about me coming on the show, and then I missed this week. Next week we should do something. You're in Pennsylvania, dude. It is late. Late for you. The only place I know in Pennsylvania is like Valley Forge, I think, because I think I have my work has an office out there. So. But anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, hanging out. Want to do more streams and talk with you guys and do all that. So hope you guys take care. Have a good night. Double and triple check all of your listings.